Hey, football fans, this is Gary Greene, longtime Las Vegas handicapper and professional sports bettor for the past 35 years here in Las Vegas. And this is going to be our NFL Stock Down Team of the Week heading into week number 11. And last week, I gave you one that raised a lot of eyebrows to a lot of watchers. Got some emails saying I was crazy. But I said the Stock Down Team of the Week was the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. And I told you they were living on the edge. And they lived on the edge again. So they won again, but once again, they burned a lot of bettors who thought that the undefeated record made them better than they were. And I gave the quarterback before last week's game, Patrick Mahomes, a C. I downgraded him now. His grade for this year is a C minus. And dating back to the end of last year, other than the Super Bowl win, he's actually not been good at all. And so this is a team that I would be really wary of laying a lot of points with going forward. Like I said last week, they're due to lose. It's going to happen. They're not an undefeated type of team, not even close. But this week I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to go with the first place Atlanta Falcons. Yep, the first place Atlanta Falcons, 6-4. This team's a fraud. Okay, this team has played 3 winning teams this year. They've won one of the 3 games. In the 3 games, they scored 10 points, 22 points, and 17 points. So Mr. Kirk Cousins does what he does. As soon as he gets into a big game, he doesn't show up. And for the most part, this is what this team's going to do the rest of the way, even though they have a very weak schedule and it's always going to look like they're better than they are. Once they get to the playoffs, they will get dismantled in the first game. That's just how it's been for old Kirk and his teams over the years, and that's how it's going to be again this year because this team, again, is a fraud. When we look at the defense, the team can't tackle well. The offensive line's not that great. I will give one credit, the running back Bijan Robinson's finally looking pretty good. But for the most part, this team's not that good. They've been lucky to play a bad schedule. They've caught teams right at the right time. If they were to play the same Philadelphia team, the only team that's winning team so far this year that they beat, they were to play them again right now, they would lose. And so, it's a situation here where there's teams that sometimes, just because their record says, oh, this is a winning team, it doesn't mean they're a good team to bet on. It means that you might want to stay away from them, even though the record is good, just like the Kansas City Chiefs. So right now, it's not a team that I would look to bet on. I don't like this team at all. I think that, of course, they have enough talent that they win some games and then you get real happy with them. But to have to keep kicking field goal over and over and over against, they lost to the depleted, demoralized New Orleans Saints team that just got clocked the week before against Carolina. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, but do not bet on this Atlanta team. You'll be losing your money going forward. Now, there's also 4 teams that I put in honorable mention that they're so bad that it's not really a mention that say stock down. But it's not just stock down, it's stock out. And that means crashed, done, over. And these 4 teams are 4 teams that are going to have their head coach either fired soon or at the end of the year. And that's the New York Giants, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Dallas Cowboys, yes, Mike McCarthy is gone, the Bears. The Chicago Bears came in with the most hype of anybody I've seen in years due to a quarterback that was the most overhyped player that I've seen in years. And what has happened? Exactly what happened last year. This team is poorly coached. The quarterback is clueless. He doesn't know how to throw the ball out of bounds. He's getting sacked, Caleb Williams, when the offensive line is pass blocking wins. That means that when they grade every play, the offensive linemen are winning against the defensive line's pass rush, but yet he's still getting sacked. That's on the quarterback. It's on the dumb play caller, who is atrocious. It's on the head coach not to fix it. But it's also on the quarterback to not be able to understand that every play, you don't move around just because you completed a few Houdini plays. This is not the recipe for success. He's too stupid to know it. It might not ever happen because he's just a weird dude. And weird dudes, other players don't gravitate towards them. The Bears, of course, Dallas, injuries have depleted them, but it just never meshed. Mike McCarthy was just never a good selection. They're like Kirk Cousins. They're never going to win a big game. Jacksonville, it's just gone from bad to worse. And the New York Giants, I mean, it's so funny. When I did a video last week and I made fun of the Giants and said, how could you lay a touchdown with this team that can't score in the first half? Even my friend Stevie Wonder has been dead right about this team of betting unders on the Giants in the first half. And what do? They go right out and score 0. Unbelievable. It's not shocking. People think this is really a lot harder than it is. All I ever hear from all the people online is NFL is impossible. Well, NFL, I have destroyed. And again, Stevie Wonder could be winning in the NFL. There's a lot of easy situations to avoid. And, people are just betting to bet. And if you want to just be in action to be in action, you're never going to win a lot of money. But right now, just delete these 4 teams. They're not teams that you should look to bet on. I say it a lot, but you would never buy a broken box of cereal where the cereal was all spilled half out on the floor. You wouldn't run up to the register and make a purchase on that. Don't make a purchase on these 4 teams going forward. The league has way more bad teams than good, so they'll actually be playing other bad teams, and one of the 2 will have to cover. But that doesn't make it a good bet. Your good bets are getting smaller and smaller now, and you have to bet a little bit more disciplined and not just to be in action. The Jets, obviously, I can add them in there as a 5th team right now, too. Players are not going to play hard for a head coach that's going out the door. If the guy was any better as a head coach, they would have been having a better record because they would have played harder. Now is the time where they're tailing out and they're just worrying about, especially free agent good players, they're just worrying about getting out of Dodge healthy. So be careful how you bet the rest of the way when you're betting on bad teams. And hopefully that'll help you a little bit. That's our stock down team of the week heading into week number 11. You've been listening to Gary Greene and Gary Greene Wins videos. Have a great week ahead, guys and gals.